For as prominent of programs that Elmont and Brentwood have been over the last half-decade, this year they are surpassing expectations. Both young squads with inexperienced players and both out to fantastic starts. It's the Indians and Spartans from Uniondale High School in the Nassau-Suffolk Challenge. Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome to Uniondale High School. Matt Shortis with you today on News 12 Varsity. It's the third annual Nassau-Suffolk Challenge, and they kind of flipped the script from last year. Last year was the double A's and the A's playing one another. This year, it's an A and a double A school kind of flip-flopping. So Elmont out of the A in Nassau County, Brentwood out of the double A in Suffolk County. And some facelifts for both of these teams after graduation from a year ago. Elmont was a state champ in the A last year, and Brentwood a Suffolk County finalist after winning the Long Island Championship the year prior. Well, for Brentwood, gone are Almonacey as well as Jamel Allen, and in has stepped the younger sibling, Ramel Allen, averaging 12 points per game. And his head coach, Anthony Jimenez, says he's just matured a great deal over this last season, knowing that it is his team now, and he has been the one to set the stage for Brentwood. Elmont, likewise, they've lost a lot from last year's team, and in steps Victor Oluwaye, the junior, and he's going to be counted on a little bit more heavily today. No Casey and Defo, their leading scorer, with 21 points per game. Oluwaye at 15 points per contest, third-year player, first-year starter. He was really the sixth man of that state title winning team last year. So Elmont and Brentwood from Uniondale High School. It's the Nassau-Suffolk Challenge next on News 12 Varsity. Welcome back to Uniondale High School. Matt Shortis, Dylan Butler, and Tom Schnorris with you as we get ready to tip off this game between Brentwood and Elmont. The Indians coming in at 19-1 on the season, coached by Anthony Jimenez in his 15th year as head coach. The starting lineup for the Indians is Karis Watson, Ramel Allen up front, Kenny Lazo, Zed Key, the 6'6 freshman, and Tyler Carey. Elmont 10-2, coached by George Hollab in his 12th season as head coach. Nassau AA champs in 2011, and of course, New York State champs last year. The lineup for Elmont: Oluwaye, Miller, McDonald, Cook, and Santos. It's Elmont in white. They have the opening tip-off. Santos has his shot blocked. Come back out on left wing. Santos, left baseline, jumper in and out for Ward. Brentwood in the road black jerseys with the green trim. This Brentwood team perhaps surprising some folks, losing two very high caliber, or three very high caliber players from last year's squad, and they've come in and performed quite well. Finger roll shot won't go for Allen. An offensive rebound, the second chance doesn't fall either.
Yeah, they really have, Matt. I mean, only that one loss to Harborfields, and of course Harborfields, you'd make the argument, certainly one of the top teams on Long Island.
Three-pointer, that's good for Elmont, for Victor Oluwaye, and the Spartans are on the board. And you feel like without Casey and Defo, the outside shooting of Elmont might be a huge factor if the Spartans will be successful today. Spin move underneath for Zed Key, the 6'6 freshman, and there's not a lot of teams on Long Island who are going to have an answer for him.
No, I was really excited when I got here to see Zed Key in person. Heard a lot about him, and really, if there's a kid who doesn't look like a freshman, it is certainly Zed Key. I mean, he is built like an upperclassman already.
Well, the last time that Brentwood had a freshman that size, Oluwaye will turn and shoot a three. That won't go. Rebounded by Allen. It was John Garcia in 2005, or was a member of the 2005 championship team that wound up playing at Seton Hall.
And already, too, Key getting that Division I interest, and it's understandable, obviously, just again, when you look at his size, realizing he will most likely continue to grow.
Pass nearly knocked away, then it was stolen. Back it comes for Allen on the left side, and Allen is fouled on his way up by William Cook. So Ramel Allen, of course, the younger brother of Jamel, and Anthony Jimenez says, you know, Jamel was a hell of a player. It's not always easy for somebody to step into that. But now, in essence, with him being a senior, with some of those upper statesman guys gone, he and You know, the likes of Jovan Williams, those guys have really taken ownership of this team, and he, being Coach Jimenez, credits that ownership, that leadership to Ramel Allen's growth. Meanwhile, 6 unanswered for Brentwood. Another steal. And this is where Elmont gets into a little bit of trouble sometimes with themselves. Lazo, one freshman to another. Key down on the low left block. He's fouled on the way up. And Zed Key will go to the free throw line. So Zed Key, I mean, there's not a whole lot of freshmen on Long Island who are capable of statistically leading their team in scoring at just under 15 points per game for Key.
Yeah, he's been a double-double machine as well. I think the scoring part of it is impressive, but what's more impressive, I think, is his ability to get in there, battle with the big guys on Long Island and get those rebounds.
So 2.5 minutes gone by, and it's an 8-3 Brentwood lead. Elmont played last night, lost to Sewanaka District. Left wing three-pointer for Santos, in and out. Offensive board, another chance at it for Elmont, kept alive by Atasi. Astasi, and Brentwood nearly turns it over into the hands of Ramel Allen, out of bounds, off of Allen, and Elmont comes up with their first turnover of the game. Izzy Astase's got the suede blue looking shoes. Little gold trim on the back.
Hey, you've got to come and bring it in these challenge showcase events.
Santos is fouled. I mean, they clash a little bit with the the Elmont colors. There's another look. Whose are those? Those are Vinnie McDonald shoes. So Elmont will inbound. Again, they have the three-pointer by Olawaye, and that's been it so far for the Spartans. Olawaye around a screen into the right corner. That'll be a 3. Off the heel. Kept alive, though. More offensive rebounding for Astasi. Olawaye down on the left blocks. Key altered that shot, got high up, and a steal by Astasi. Olawaye step back three-pointer, in and out. Key this time will control it, knocked out of his hands, and Elmont continuing to put a whole lot of pressure, and then a foul.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say certainly that Elmont hasn't had good looks early on, Matt.
They've not been able to hit their shots, though, in the early going. But a good job on that series, rebounding the ball, creating second chance opportunities. Karis Watson, head of steam, drives to the lane and stripped to the ball, but it'll stay with Brentwood. Watson, another senior, stepping into a prominent role this year. Gives it off for Allen, tries a 3 and drains it. Ramel Allen with 7 early points for Brentwood.
Yeah, as was the case with his brother a year ago, extending his range this year and showing the ability to knock down those outside shots.
It's going to be a carry on Javon Santos. I mean, if you notice a theme, Santos also a freshman. A lot of young guys on both of these teams, but still 19 wins combined, the two. Karis Watson down low in the left blocks. Blocked from behind. Olawaye bringing the ball up the floor for Elmont. Olawaye behind the back, throws it off. Santos driving on the baseline into the trees, and Key able to control the rebound. Lazo quickly, but stolen away, and Lazo able to get it right back, right into the waiting hands of Tyler Carey, who puts it in. Double-figure lead for Brentwood with 3:15 to go in the first quarter. Santos fouled on his way to the cup.
Yeah, you know, so much of what Brentwood's identity was in the last couple years has been this Showtime offense, but people forget about how good they are defensively. And certainly Anthony Jimenez, even though there's some new faces, that identity of tough, in-your-face defense continues.
Conrad Ahaza checking in for the first time for Elmont. I mean, when you couple that with Elmont's tenacity and like their desire to push the pace, sometimes the defensive tenacity and the desire to push the pace end up creating bad things on the offensive end. Free throw line extended, it comes on the right side for Santos, knocks down a three. Much needed basket for Elmont. Cuts it to a 8-point advantage. Sorry, 7-point advantage. Knocked away, and Elmont will take over. So both teams sort of struggling through turnovers in the opening quarter.
2-3 defense now we're seeing for Brentwood.
Well, Elmont's tried a lot of threes. They've not been tremendously successful. Baseline jumper short. Tap back up, that won't go. And a rebound taken by Carey of Brentwood. Carey bounces down low for Key, kicked out of bounds. Off of Brentwood. That was Tyler Carey who kicked it with his left foot.
And that's when, Matt, I think, where he's got to identify Lazo and get him the ball. You want the ball in your point guard's hands, obviously, and instead they just try to push the pace, get it up into the front court, resulting in a turnover.
David Moore checking in for Elmont for the first time this afternoon. Moore eyes up. Back it comes, little runner. Uses the whole rim and then some for Ahaza. Boy, that went around the cylinder 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. Good looking floater in the lane, and
Lazo might have gotten fouled. Outside it comes for Allen. He's already got one, now 2 threes. 10 first quarter points for Ramel Allen. And lead back up to 8 for Brentwood. It's 16-8 as we close in on the final minute of this first quarter. Astasi to the basket.
strong cut to the hole by Astasi, and gets by Allen and gets the 2.
Kenny Lasso over the timeline inside a minute. Foul on the floor against Jalen Miller. Stand corrected, going against Ismail Astasi. Jermaine Belnavids tries to throw it in. Reaching for it is Lazo. Belnavids comes back up with it. Zed Key, nice pass behind his back. And nearly taken away, but Santos was last to touch before it went out.
Yeah, you're 100% right. What a great pass and just a heads-up play by Key, right? Sees a double team, chucks it back, tries to get an opportunity.
Kenny Lazo, the floater won't go. Key puts it up and in. Scoring has opened up a little bit in the last few minutes. Shot clock is off with 21 seconds remaining in the first quarter. On a bounce, it comes into Ahaza. A contact in the lane, no call. Brentwood comes up with it. Ramel Allen with 10 seconds to go. Allen knifing to the lane, no good. Key with it, and he's fouled on the way back up.
I was going to say they could hold for the last shot, but that's not usually the Brentwood way.
So Key already 2 for 2, now 3 for 3. And that's a big thing, too, when you have a post player as young as he is. The ability to hit free throws.
Oh, yeah.
Cannot be overstated. Shot is good at the buzzer. And a three-pointer is good for Elmont. As David Moore banks it home. And that's how we end the first 8 minutes. 20-13, Brentwood on top in the Nassau-Suffolk Challenge. At Uniondale High School, getting ready to start the second quarter. It's Brentwood on top of Elmont, 20-13. Matt Shortis, Dylan Butler, and Tom Schnars with you in the Nassau-Suffolk Challenge. After this game, we'll have Copeg and Uniondale coming up at 6 o'clock. Stolen by Olawaye. Pass coming up the sideline to Santos. Santos, perhaps being a little too unselfish, and turns it over.
I hope our cameraman, producer Tom Schnars can avoid rooting for Copeg during the last game.
A Copeg alumnus.
It might be tough.
Up top it comes for Allen on a three. That's the first one he's missed today. Rebounded by Ahaza.
I didn't see any Copeg gear on Mr. Schnars, which is good.
No. Left wing three-pointer, that'll fall for Olawaye. So Elmont staying in this game with the three-pointers. That's their fourth made three of the contest. And an Elmont foul, that's going to be their sixth. Less than a minute into the second quarter.
Yeah, with Ndefo out, I think Olawaye realizes he's got to pick up the scoring. And again, that's 20 points a game that you're missing with Ndefo, but he's really done the case. Had a huge game there last win.
Harris able to get it to Lasso across the lane for Key. He's in double figures now, he and Allen both.
I mean, that's a big-time move. Strong to the hoop, doesn't put it on the court.
Olawaye in a little trouble for Moore handling this. He traveled with it. Olawaye giving it up to him just a little high. And he couldn't corral it. Agbo. Joe Agbo, a senior, coming in. So George Holub going pretty deep into his bench so far. A lot of different guys entering into the rotation. Kenny Lasso showing the speed and the quickness. Down in the blocks. To the floor it goes, turnover. Olawaye tied up and a jump ball. Elmont will keep the possession. Tyler Carey returning. And Jamel Belnevins, identical twin with his brother Jermaine.
Good thing they have different numbers on.
Yes. Coach said it took him years to figure out how to tell them apart. Drive, lefty, scoop for Ahaza. Nifty move in the air.
Really, really nice athletic move by
Conrad Ahaza.
Yeah.
Kenny Lasso, freshman guard. Allen lost the handle for a moment, got it back, drives to the lane, poked from behind, out of bounds to Elmont. I'll say the thing about Elmont defensively, even if the offensive player gets behind them or in front of them, they do not give up on a play.
Now we're seeing Brentwood switch after all those early threes now to the traditional man-to-man.
Down the baseline, this is Agbo. Give him a little height. Agbo inside to a cutting Ahaza. Out of bounds to Brentwood this time.
Yeah, lost his dribble really for no good reason, and that got him in trouble. Another substitution as Cook checks into the game for Elmont.
Brentwood will change some personnel in terms of who's going to inbound the ball. So that's Belnavins coming in. Lasso, the point guard. Jamel Belnavins. Up top, Zed Key holding above the arc. High pass, Elmont comes away with it. Olawaye on the left side, this is Agbo. Olawaye, back it comes to him, and the little push shot is good.
Yeah, nice behind the back pass inside, and
Lasso the fake, Key up with it, fouled. 7th team foul against Elmont, and they'll put Brentwood in the bonus.
Spartans have clawed themselves back in this one, huh? Double digits in the first quarter, and now they're within 2.
Very quiet 10-2 run for the Elmont Spartans, bridging the buzzer-beating shot at the end of the first. Now into the second.
But you're 100% right. If you're a coach watching Zed Key early on, it's some of the small things, and this is one of them. Just a smooth stroke from the free throw line, ability to knock down those free throws. He's hit every one so far.
He's now up to 12 points. 8 of those coming from the stripe. Baseline for Jalen Miller. Here's Matt Ward's goop shot, won't fall. Ramel Allen's got it. Lead pass ahead. Into the lane, and a foul is called against Elmont. Joe Agbo picking up the personal, and again, free throws from here on out in the first half for Brentwood. Jamel Belnavis averages just over 4 points per contest.
You hear Jimenez use words like funny and witty and smart for him.
I mean, he did not have, I'd say 3 of the 4 coaches we spoke to getting ready for this tournament just talked about how much fun it is to coach their teams this year. Rattling around, Jalen Miller.
That's a friendly rim on this side here for the Spartans.
We've seen it a few times getting the home bounces. Carey.
Yeah, Carey just on the baseline. Easy layup for him.
There's William Cook. Miller held up, ripped right out of his hands. Miller trying to get it back, and he's called for a personal.
Yeah, good D by Carey. Certainly was a size mismatch there. Carey at 6'3".
And that Wilson carried to the line. Guy who can be electric, says Anthony Jimenez. Missed the free throw. 5-point lead for Brentwood, 3:25 to go in the opening half, and a timeout taken by George Holland. 30-second variety. Dylan, when you look back at this game last year, it wasn't these two teams, but on the Elmont side, right? They played Harborfields, and it was a loss basically at the buzzer. They had a chance to hit free throws with no time on the clock and ended up losing the game by a point in regulation. And they didn't lose the rest of the season on Long Island after that game, including a win over Harborfields in the Long Island championship game. And obviously they were a good team and a very good team coming into that game, but that loss, you almost feel like set the tone for the rest of their season.
Absolutely did, and their next and last loss came up in Albany at the State Federation Tournament in the championship game to a very, very good Albany Academy team. And George Lube was very emotional about the run that they had, a historic one, winning a state championship. And, you know, even though some of the names have changed now and there's that responsibility as a kickball is called to, if not do it again, certainly have another solid season.
I mean, they lost a lot from last year's team, but the expectations are still high. A little miscommunication on the offensive end between Matt Ward and William Cook.
Stasi back in the game.
And he lasso that wavy curly hair. A little Sideshow Bob-esque. Zed Key's got it. Nice feed across the lane. One bounce. A little too strong. Pulled down by Agbo of Elmont. Quickly up ahead. They go strong to the basket, but altering the shot is Ramel Allen. And out of bounds to Brentwood.
Yeah, and again, I think if you're George Halub, you're looking and you're like, a lot of good looks. And the ball, I mean, they have had the friendly role, but also some unforgiving situations, trips down the court.
And considering that, only a 5-point game as well. Lasso, Key. Key's gonna put it on the floor, stripped down low. Matt Ward around the defender. One dribble to the basket. Astase is fouled. Carl Watson will pick up his second personal for Brentwood. And Izzy Astasi to the free throw line. He was a member of this team last year, saw some action. Remember speaking preseason last year to George Holub, and he felt Izzy Astasi was a guy who could really break out if he put everything together.
Yeah,
Still only a junior.
Really quick kid too, arguably the fastest on the team.
Well, Astasi misses both. 2:25 to go in the first half, a 5-point Brentwood advantage at 27-22. Allen off a screen will try a three. That looked like it was blocked by Cook. And a backcourt violation against Brentwood.
Yeah, it was a rebound that was saved under the basket. So on one hand, if you're Elmont, you're not boxing out on that situation, but you get bailed out because the ball comes flying back into the backcourt.
Jimenez was looking for an explanation. Astasi that time too strong off the window. Ahead it comes, fouled, as Tyler Carey will go back to the free throw line.
I'm impressed with what I've seen from Carey. You know, in years past, in these great years that Brentwood has had, there's always been the multiple guys. You know, last year we would talk about Jamel Allen and Mike Almonacci, but there's always that third guy who's a little bit of the under-the-radar type, and that's kind of where Carey is this year for the Indians.
Carey averaging 11.5 points per contest. Coming in his first year starting. Knocking down a pair of free throws. Lead back to 7 for Brentwood at 29-22. Ahaza has checked back in. Up top, Astasi can't handle it. In the corner, it's picked up by Watson. Carey with it, Carey into the paint, and he's fouled.
Yeah, Key was looking for the ball inside, but Carey saw a lane and drove into a trio of Elmont defenders, gets fouled, goes back to the line.
Conrad Haza picking up his second personal foul. And on that note, Victor Olawaye will check back in. Josh Milford St. Cyr had been in for Elmont. This matches the largest lead of the game for Brentwood at 8, 30-22. Ogpo right side, corner three, no good. Out of bounds. And it was St. Cyr. Staying corrected, they had a 10-point lead at 20-10 to Brentwood. Kenny Lasso up top for Watson, Karis Watson. Lasso off a curl, right elbow jumper, no. And a foul against Ed Key. Going over the back. So at a 15-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Olawaye just off the mark. Rebounded by Miller. Miller up with it, won't go. Elmont fans wanting a foul. They'll be able to reset. Now a 5-second difference between the shot and the game clock. Olawaye, Santos hits the deck, but Elmont's able to maintain possession.
Judging by the look on Carey's face after that, I think he thought he also got away with the foul.
Olawaye bounces it to the right side for Santos. Back up top. Ooh, blocked by Key. Shot clock is off and a timeout by Brentwood with 10 seconds even on the clock. And a 30-22 advantage.
This will give Anthony Jimenez an opportunity to call up a play for the final 10 seconds. We mentioned Elmont's run, of course, last year, a couple of years ago. That was all about the Wood Nation and their trip up to Glens Falls. It didn't end in a state championship, but what a run that group had, and really magical situation. The support they had, all the T-shirts Mike Almonte's dad printed out, and Wood Nation, and it really caught fire, you'd say, here, and they traveled well during that run for sure. Almonte now, of course, not too far from here, stayed on the island playing his collegiate ball at Stony Brook.
2014, 2015 Long Island champs. Almonte, season high 15 points for Stony Brook, coming against the local rival Hofstra. Straightaway three for Harris, that won't go. Rebound and a foul as Carey will go to the line with 0.6 seconds left. Boy, both teams have done a really nice job on the offensive glass.
Yeah.
This first half.
And Jimenez calling his guys off the line. Doesn't want to certainly have a foul on a box out that would allow Elmont to maybe get a free throw of their own.
So after making 2 or 3 to start, Tyler Carey has missed his last 3 free throws, and that'll end there. Shot will not count. And at the end of a half, Brentwood leading Elmont by a score of 31-22, a 9-point advantage for the Indians.
Good first half for both teams, and Anthony Jimenez, another conversation with the officials, and we'll see what both of these sides have when we come back here at the Nassau-Suffolk Challenge from Uniondale High School.
Getting ready to start the third quarter. Matt Truist, Dylan Butler, Tom Schnars with you as Brentwood on top of Elmont 33-21. A nice balanced effort, some good contributions up and down the Brentwood lineup. Meanwhile, Elmont being led by Victor Olawaye.
Now he's got 8, leading the way for Brentwood. Key with 12, Allen 10, Carey with 8. And Brentwood ball coming out.
They move left to right to start, which was the friendlier of the rims in the first half in terms of the bounces. Carey going right back to it and draws a foul right away from Jalen Miller. That explosiveness of Tyler Carey serving him well. Get from the top of the arc to the rim in one dribble.
And we've seen him take a bunch of free throws. It was pretty much him on the line for the final minute 54 of the first half. First one is front rim, no good.
Carey a couple points shy of his season average, missing on both. Keys got it. Thought there might have been an offensive goaltending call, but no. Olawaye cross-court pass. Back it comes straight away. 3 for Olawaye, and that gets a friendly roll. Dylan, maybe it wasn't the rim down this end. Maybe it was just the Elmont shooting.
A nice bounce, and starts the second half for Elmont the same way he started the first quarter with the three-pointer.
Cuts it to a 6-point lead for Brentwood. Feet underneath for Carey. Carey again fouled from behind. He's been like a magnet for contact today.
It was a nice look, too. Two-handed pass, strong look from the top by Key inside. Carey back to the line to shoot 2 more. Just missed his previous 2. Front rim again. He went 4 of 8. Lane violation against Key. So that free throw will not count.
So that would have been his 11th free throw of the game. That's how active he's been around the basket. That's not hurting Elmont. Olawaye off a screen will try a 3, and that one's pure. Back-to-back three-pointers for Victor Olawaye, and it's just a 3-point game now.
Quick release on those threes as well. Key wants the ball inside. Some pressure in the front court and over the back, over the timeline in the middle. So it's a turnover.
And that's what Elmont wants to do. It's a lot easier to do off a made basket where they were missing a lot of shots in the first half. Here's some good speed by Santos, swatted from behind by Lazo. Freshman to freshman.
Yeah, that's like one of those like 99-pound wrestling matches with 2 of the smaller dudes on the court going mano a mano.
William Cook finding Olawaye. He's D'd up by Karis Watson right now. Haza just right of the mid-center circle. Nearly 2 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Elmont has scored the only 6 points of the third, and they've cut it to a 3-point deficit. Olawaye will try a 3 again, a tough one in and out.
I'll tell you what, he forced that, but that was right on.
Here's Carey knifing left side of the lane. That won't go. Rebounded by Elmont, knocked away by Lazo of Brentwood. Lazo back across for Carey, who lays it in.
Yeah, a bit of frazzled play there underneath the basket.
Here's Cook driving to the lane. Lefty push shot in and out. And knocked away off of Key. Joe Agbo returning. Well, the size inside was definitely something that concerned Elmont coming into this game. And it has played out that way. Carey up front along with Zed Key. They've been real troublesome for Elmont. Bounce across, knocked away, but last touch by Haza out of bounds.
And that was Ramel Allen doing the job defensively, getting his hand on the ball. However, the ball goes off the foot of Lazo, all kinds of trouble.
Santo comes up with a steal now, ahead for Olawaye. Fouled from behind on the way up. And Kenny Lazo, unable to handle the pressure, then commits the foul after the turnover.
Yeah, an adventurous few seconds there for Lazo.
Olawaye to the line for the first time today. 14 points, 4 of his made baskets coming from beyond the arc. In and out. And even more impressive when George Holub says he's still developing. First year starting, but was very instrumental as a guard off the bench last year in their state championship run. And then as a junior, being asked to really carry the leadership role on this very inexperienced Elmont squad. Carey again tries the scoop shot. And he's just drawing a foul again every time he touches the ball almost.
Yeah, it's an inexperienced team that got a little more inexperienced without leader Casey and Defo out of the lineup tonight.
And Defo, their leading scorer, at almost 22 points per contest. And Nahaza comes back out. Joe Ogbo returning. And Carey short on this. William Cook doubled on the side. Taken away by Allen. Batted around on the floor. Elmont's got it. Driving to the basket. Astase is fouled.
Yeah, that
this thing's been like a hot potato at times today.
Yeah, I was going to say that was way too fast of a pace of play. That's a ball that's got to get stopped, and Anthony Jimenez, the Brentwood coach, will look to talk things over.
I was talking to him earlier this week about some of the youth on his team. You know, you're not used to seeing a team with 9-10 wins so far at this point in the season. The run that they have had with 3 freshmen that play pretty key roles. Bryce Harris coming off the bench, and the 2 in the starting lineup, Kenny Lazo and Zed Key. But then you look at some of the other teams in this game. You know, Copeg has in this tournament. Copeg has freshmen in significant roles, as does Uniondale's got some underclassmen in significant roles, and all the coaches have really changed their philosophy in terms of bringing up youth in the last few years. And Anthony Jimenez said 07 was the only time he really had a team where he didn't bring guys up, and that team struggled. And he said he learned a valuable lesson that year, that if guys are ready to play and they show talent, you got to give them an opportunity at the varsity level.
And listen, the lesson was shown here at Uniondale, because if you remember, Matt, a couple years ago, free throw back iron, we were first introduced to Danny Ashley of Uniondale, who's a starting point guard as a freshman. I believe that was the upstate downstate. They played New Rochelle, and he was so impressive in that game. And look, if you're good enough, second free throw also no good, you'll get the time. And the reality is, too, look, I mean, all of these kids, if you're good enough to be on the varsity, you're likely playing high-level AAU as well. So you've played in some high-pressure situations throughout your career, no matter what grade you are in school.
Ogbo recovers, takes an awkward-looking shot. It goes in, and he's fouled. Joe Ogbo pushed a shot from just inside the arc and was fouled in the process, and he will go to the free throw line to try and complete the 3-point play. Joe Ogbo, first year on the team, really a story of redemption, as somebody who tried out last year, was cut, and continued to work at it, continued to stay in contact with George Holub and the coaching staff, and has a spot on the varsity his senior year.
Yeah, and he's pulled the Spartans now within 1. foul underneath.
It's the closest that Elmont's been since it was 4-3 back in the first quarter.
Yeah, they had that early lead, of course, with Alawaye's 3. And
then Ogbo will pick up the foul. And already 4 team fouls for Elmont in the first 4 minutes of this third quarter. Mel Allen's been kept quiet so far in this third. Again, ball knocking around out of bounds on the sideline. It'll stick with Brentwood.
yeah, Allen tried to play a high-low game with Key. Was unable to do so.
Up top it comes for Kenny Lasso. Lasso lobs it over the top for Key, won't go.
You know, Key puts his arms out looking for contact, but there's always going to be some physicality, certainly underneath the basket.
Perimeter right for Estase. Olawaye comes out and they are on him like white on rice.
Yeah.
Javon Santos, they swing it around. They're trying to free up Olawaye. Olawaye spin move, draws contact in the paint, and he'll go to the line again. All right, both teams in foul trouble. As Zed Key will pick up his 3rd personal.
Man, looks like Key will, actually they called it a non-shooting foul. Key will leave the game as Bryce Harris checks in.
Another freshman off the bench, averaging 8.5 points per contest. Elmont looking for their first lead since it was 3-2 back to start the game.
Different guys guarding Alawaye. A switch now.
Santos absorbs some contact.
Nice
Step back
fake.
now, Cook will put it on the floor. Ogbo first to it, squirts out to Olawaye, he's free. Nice feed across the lane, and it's Cook who finishes. Elmont's got their first lead since the first quarter. And so far in this third quarter, it's 12-2 Spartans.
Yeah, another frantic, frenetic situation. Another turnover here for Brentwood.
Olawaye dish off to the other side this time, and it's Estase finishing.
I'll tell you, Alawaye can score the ball, but we've seen on back-to-back possessions how unselfish he is as well.
Watson will turn it over again. Elmont creating points in transition. Olawaye all alone. It's a 10-0 Elmont run, and the Spartans are up by 5. Timeout, Brentwood.
And Alawaye's DNA all over this run. A couple of assists, a steal, the layup that we just saw. Really, really impressive stuff from the junior guard.
He had 8 points at halftime. He's got 9 in the quarter for 17. And the last few moments, that is Elmont basketball at its best, creating havoc in the front court and then leading to points down the other end of the floor.
And we mentioned the youth, and this is a little bit what you're going to get, right? When you've got these young bucks on the court. Anthony Jimenez knows that, and he knows that the future is bright, but certainly there's going to be some growing pains. And right now it seems like those growing pains are in the backcourt a little bit because Elmont's getting up in them and turning them over.
And the 3 guys that were so heavily dependent on for Brentwood in the first half, Ramel Allen has not scored in this quarter. Neither has Zed Key, who's sitting on the bench in foul trouble. And Tyler Carey has been limited because every time he touches the ball, he winds up going to the free throw line.
Well, that's a little bit of the problem, too, where those missed free throws, how many times do we see teams it coming back to haunt them?
There's Bryce Harris.
Nearly traveled.
Yeah, Brentwood could be on top if they were hitting their free throws with some more consistency. And on cue, Carey will go back to the line.
And that's the guy who's found his way to the line so much. He has been, however, inconsistent.
Joe Ogbo picking up his 3rd personal. That'll get Vincent McDonald up. McDonald's a first-year player. Never played basketball, at least organized before. That one didn't hit anything. He's a wide receiver and defensive back on the football team, was Vinny McDonald. But he's come out and tried out and worked himself into a starter. Four-point lead for Elmont.
And you can see it's a lot of the dribble drive.
Olwaye trying to free himself up. Brentwood's got it for a moment. Kenny Lazo pushing up. Poked from behind, but a travel against Brentwood.
Yeah, some steps there, and then another turnover. Turnovers have really been a thorn in the inside here, especially in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, flip the script on what it was in the first half. Elmont turning the ball over less frequently than they were through the first 16 minutes.
Remember, at the half, it was 31-22 Brentwood.
Turnaround jumper for McDonald, a little short. Kept alive for the moment by Elmont. McDonald's got it. McDonald flips it off. Wide open, Olwaye for 3.
He's tried to find an open shot. That one was as wide as the Atlantic Ocean, and he was able to sink it. You give him that space and that time, he will nail that shot time and again.
Well, off a missed shot, that might be the only time he does get open like that again. Kick ball.
He has been electric.
20 points tonight for Victor Olwaye, including 5 made 3-pointers. On the baseline, Elmont's got it off the missed shot. Santos in a little bit of trouble.
But he might have stepped out on the sideline. Oh my.
Olwaye, another open 3. That one won't go. And 2 players collide. Kenny Lazo and Astasi butt heads, and Lazo a little worse for the wear after that, holding his right temple, it looks like.
And both players went in hard for that ball. Lazo, the first in, and he gets clocked for it. He will sit down. Zed Key back in the game. 5.7 seconds left in the 3rd, and a couple important points possibly here for Brentwood. Someone's got to come for the ball.
Navis gets it to Tyler Carey. Carey just has his pocket picked by Javon Santos. Santos a 3, it's good, and the foul at the buzzer. A 2-handed steal by Javon Santos, a heave at the horn that went in, and he got whacked from behind while he did it. Boy, that brought the crowd to its feet.
He's just a freshman, and you know, he's pulling up because obviously he's looking at the clock and he sees it winding down.
Why not?
And the bank is open. A 4-point play to end. An impressive 3rd quarter for Elmont. They turn a 31-22 deficit into a 45-34 lead.
A 23-point 3rd quarter for Elmont. We'll be back with the 4th in a moment. Well, Elmont was as hot as a team as you could be in the third quarter. They outscore Brentwood in that third 23-3 and take a 11-point advantage as we head to the fourth quarter. Santos, who had that monster finish, missed the opening shot of the quarter. Ramel Allen's got it. Well, Dylan, if Brentwood's going to come back, they need some production out of Allen and Key for sure. Key's got the rebound and goes up and is fouled.
Now the difference here is you get Key to the foul line where he has been perfect thus far. But it's been a while since we've seen him get to the line, really, since the second quarter.
He has not scored in this half yet. And the free throw woes continue for Brentwood overall, though that's the first missed free throw for the freshman Zed Key. That one rims off as well. Ahead to Oluwaye. Oluwaye, one bounce. McDonald in the lane is fouled.
Good looking look inside by Oluwaye. That to me, Matt, is I think the most impressive part of his game, where he can shoot and he can score. He's shown that ability, certainly, especially from downtown, but his unselfishness and his willingness to get his teammates involved.
I mean, he looks like, as you would expect, the difference from last year. So much more in command of everything. Especially with no Indefo in the lineup, you know he's got to kind of run the show a little bit. In and out. Belnavis has the rebound for Brentwood as they had to try and find their offense. Scored just 3 points in this half. We're in the fourth quarter. There's a three for Allen. And might that get the Indians going? Well, you can hear it gets their crowd going.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And now Brentwood showing some pressure. Picking up full court. Santos breaks through. You like his demeanor as well as a freshman. William Cook loses the ball. Out of bounds. Last touch by Elmont.
Well, Wood Nation certainly urging their boys on, sensing maybe that Allen three starts to turn the momentum back their way. It was theirs throughout really the entire first half until that remarkable 23-3 third quarter.
Tough shot by Belnavis. Santos driving on the baseline, wrapped around from behind by Jamel Belnavis, and out of bounds. Oluwaye got caught up. A lot of contact, nothing is called. Bodies flying everywhere, and then a double dribble is what the call is. It'll be Elmont ball.
I'll tell you what, I mean, first Santos took a spill. Then there could have maybe even been two other fouls called on the play. I think double dribble, the last call anyone expected there.
Inbounded to Oluwaye, 6:15 to go in the game. 45-37, Elmont on top of Brentwood. Elmont played last night, lost to Sewanaka District. Allen, the steal. And then he loses it out of bounds.
And this may be where it hurts not to have Lazo in the game. Again, not real experience necessarily. timeout by Elmont, but he is the point guard, and you see him there with the ice pack over his right eye. That from that collision, of course. And oh, Tommy Diana's getting ready.
Uniondale Copay coming up. That'll be scheduled tip time for 6 o'clock.
It's funny, we saw him just before the start of the second half for this match, and really throughout the day he's had his Uniondale warm-up suit, but now he's got his game suit on.
Well, he was hugely influential. And there you see one of
Richard Brown,
Tom Diana's longtime assistant coaches. But Tom Diana was really instrumental in creating this tournament a couple of years ago. First year was played in Hicksville at the PAL. And then last year moved to Uniondale High School. Block, and I thought Santos might have been standing out of bounds, but the official was right next to him, and he wasn't.
He was, yeah.
Olawaye with some fancy dribbling to Santos. They'll get it back to Olawaye. 5 to shoot. Olawaye tied up. Heave pass ahead for Belnavis. Inside to Key, who lays it in. First point since the first half for Zed Key.
That's 5 straight now for the Indians.
3 minutes into this fourth quarter, scoring has been at a premium in the quarter.
Oh, yeah. They have now more points than they did the entire third quarter.
Olawaye, a long three. That one was from Nassau Coliseum.
Wow. There's no such thing as too long for Victor Olawaye.
Allen blocked as he went up. Back it finds Astasi. Astasi swatted by Key.
And return to sender.
.433 to go in the game. A 9-point lead for Elmont. And a low-scoring contest. A lot of turnovers. But Olawaye has been there for Elmont. Bounce pass to Santos. Ogbo thought about the three. Bounced it for Astasi. Back out it comes for Ogbo. Passed up the wide open three-pointer. Under 10 to shoot. Santos lost it right into the hands of Cook. Cook up top. Santos heaves right at the buzzer. Won't go, but another chance for Elmont as they pick up the offensive rebound.
I see George Hollop gets up off his bench, tells his guys to hold up the ball.
Astasi right side. Cook will try it. Make it Ogbo for three. Well, Ogbo, who had passed up a wide open three a moment ago, pulls the trigger this time. And Belnavis goes head over heels and draws a foul.
So the 8th team foul, 1 and 1 for Belnavis.
Again, the Belnavis brothers, 2 seniors. Anthony Jimenez feels like they are the perfect complement to some of the guys on this team. 1-on-1 chance. Belnavis missing on the first. Boy, there is no easy rebound in this game today.
No. We've seen balls just pop off of legs and arms, and I'll tell you what though, for a game with so many loose balls, 3-ball, rims out, front rim, Key with the rebound, puts it in. With a game with so many loose balls, there's been no jump balls.
1.
That's right.
That's it though. Cook. Ogbo maybe feeling a little confident now. Double comes over to him and a travel.
So the Indians creeping back in this one. Deficit 10 with 3 minutes to go.
They go down to Key, who draws contact.
Yeah, he got swarmed. 3 defenders around him. He was bigger than all of them, though, and he went up. He was fouled on his way up, so he'll shoot to 2. 4th foul on Agbo.
And Zed Key, for as stellar as he was in the first half from the line, he's struggling in this second half. Oluwaye sees a path for a moment, feeds down low on the baseline for McDonald. Timeout, George Holub. Well, when you look at Elmont again, 10-2 on the season so far.
Sorry, Matt, just those 2 losses in the Slam Dunk Challenge. Mamaroneck and Byram Hills, the only teams thus far to beat Elmont.
Yep. Well, no, Bayshore and
oh, right.
Sewanee.
Who am I thinking of?
Flicking with Uniondale, I believe.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll save that thought for the next game.
Yes. So, but George Holub, despite the young team, I mean, they really only returned Oluwaye and Casey Ndefo in terms of guys who played significant minutes last year. He said, I don't schedule any non-league games that aren't going to challenge us. I'm not interested in panning our win-loss record. I want our team to compete at a high level. Sometimes it ain't pretty, but we're in the process. And I'm sure at times today he was saying this ain't pretty. But Victor Oluwaye has come alive in this second half. So is the Elmont defense. They very much limited Brentwood in the second half. Miller, now to Key. Long rebound coming towards us. Kept alive, and this will go out of bounds. They say it'll stay with Brentwood. Belnavis, this one's tipped, recovered though. Back it comes to Belnavis on the baseline. Short on that shot, rebounded by the freshman Santos. Oluwaye is fouled from behind by Jermaine Belnavis. And that'll put Elmont in the bonus. Kenny Lazo wanted to come back into the game.
Well, he will now. There's one official thought it was a double bonus. Instead it is, as you mentioned, the 1-and-1, so Lazo can check in.
Oluwaye, 1 of 2 tonight from the stripe. 23 points for Elmont. Above his average of 15. So that'll earn a second one. Oluwaye going from reserve last year to captain and starter of Elmont this year, and he's led the charge in this second half comeback as well. Allen on the pull-up.
And again, you see the full court pressure by Brentwood. Now we're seeing Oluwaye run the point.
A foul. This is going to go against Allen. Pardon me, Jermaine Belvanis picking up his foul. And I also like the freshman Javon Santos because that allows Oluwaye to play off ball at times. frees him up to be more of a spot-up shooter and a scorer. First free throw is good for Oluwaye. Elmont keeping Brentwood at arm's length with 2 minutes to play in this one. 12-point advantage for Elmont. 56-44. Stolen by Estasi. Santo through traffic right down to the baseline. Good extra pass finding Cook for the finish. Minute and a half to go. Allen nearly lost it. It'll be a jump ball, and it'll stay with Brentwood.
Say a really impressive performance by a short-handed Elmont team.
I mean, at times, their guys look like linebackers or safeties coming up trying to force fumbles, just ripping the ball out of Brentwood players' hands. Good save, Dylan.
I was waiting for that to happen.
We don't want that computer to fall on the floor.
No.
Well, it's sturdy enough. It took a hit from the basketball.
It did, yeah.
Left side, three-pointer, no good. Back up with it for Brentwood is Bryce Harris. Elmont, two players collided. And it allowed Brentwood to get the ball back. 65 seconds left in this contest. Santo double comes. And a timeout for Elmont. Again, for the Spartans, we talk about the youth, the inexperience. And George Hollop says it's not like we're expecting a huge dip. We reload with new players. We go at it again. It's a tradition thing. We're trying to keep the tradition going as we've been doing for the last 15 years. The last time he had a team that he felt was this young was only a couple of years ago. They made it to the AA semifinals that year. And then, of course, you know what the team did as they grew older and experienced a year ago.
Yeah, and again, defending public school Class A champions, and look, you've got to put them right in that conversation again this year, certainly for Nassau County.
I mean, especially if Oluwaye is going to play like he's doing today when they get Indefo back in the lineup. Those two clicks, Santos, the way he's come along, that's a pretty formidable trio.
Yeah.
Floral Park would definitely be that conversation as well. Southside, they were in this tournament.
There's another clue is still left at Floral Park, TJ.
And he's had his health back. That's helped the Knights off to a strong start.
Oh my goodness.
Boy, ball is just bouncing all over the place. Elmont's got it, Oluwaye finishes.
What a game.
Victor Oluwaye with 28 of Elmont's 60 points.
And really, they could hold.
Well, Brentwood's still pushing the pressure defensively, so Elmont not really having a chance to hold. That's a three for Lasso is good. And Brentwood will now call off the dogs. Elmont, who trailed at halftime by by 9, 31-22. They end up turning that around and winning by 9, a final score of 60-51.
A huge performance by Victor Oluwaye, and of course that 23-3 third quarter proving to be the difference for the Spartans.
So Elmont wins their 11th game of the season, handing Brentwood just their second loss of the year. 60-51, your final score today. We'll be back in a moment to close it out. Victor Olawoye with 28 points today in the winning effort for Elmont. And Victor, you guys were down by 9 at halftime. Was there something different schematically? What did Coach say at halftime that you guys changed and came out firing the second half?
Yeah, during the first half, we came out a little slow, give them a great lead. So during halftime, Coach told us to keep up momentum, keep pushing, come back with more effort in the second half.
And it seemed like you were looking for your shot a lot more in that second half. Did you feel more pressure with no Casey in the lineup tonight also?
Yeah, without Casey, a lot of pressure was on my shoulders, but I've been playing varsity. This is my 3rd year now, so I kind of have experience, and I put my team on my back.
And you guys and Brentwood both play a similar style. It seemed like you were both pushing the ball up. Is it tough to play a point guard when the ball's bouncing around between different guys the way it was tonight?
No, not really. As long as I've been playing basketball, I've always been the point guard, so I know how it feels to go back and forth up the court. All the suicides in practice helps.
And, Santos, that play at the end of the third, what'd you think of that?
Good kid, very good kid. Only in 9th grade. He has more years to come.
I appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Victor Olawoye with 28 points tonight in the winning effort for Elmont as they defeat Brentwood by a score of 60-51. That'll do it for everybody involved in our broadcast tonight. For Tom Schnarrs, our producer, and Dylan Butler, I'm Matt Shorter saying so long, and we'll catch you next time on News 12 Varsity.